Hello, everybody out there. Welcome to How Big Is Your Dick, the show where size doesn't matter, but talking about it does. We, that are Patrick, Maria, and Philipp, reflect, discuss, and share the dark sides of sexuality. Our today's topic is, I think Maria has something for us today, so I would just skip to her. Let's dig into it. Have fun with the episode. I hope you enjoy it. Let's go.
Hi, everybody. So, my topic today for our talk is my actual situation right now. Since 2 weeks ago or 3, I'm under a lot of stress and work, life, family, whatever, shit, like everybody else. And I don't feel like having sex because my mind is tricking me. So, there is always something super important to be focused in than sex. Do I love my husband? Yes. Do I like him? Yes. Do I feel attracted to him? Yes. Do I like sex with him? Yes. I just don't feel like. So my main struggle is I'm failing him, or should I have more sex because of him or because of me? What do you think, guys?
My initial thought was, man, why do we make such a big deal, about sex? Because this is a stereotype, okay? I know that's a stereotype, but I think like a woman overcomplicate the actual sexual act. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to be. It doesn't have to be additional stress. It's just like having a sports session. Just it doesn't take so long. But it's like, why do you even think about it so much? Because I cannot relate to this. For me, it's not as, how do you say, mental as it is maybe for you. So it's probably a big difference because it can only be an act of a body, just having the sexual physiological act. I wouldn't think so much about it, but I also I have to understand it because I know there are people, and also in my life there were people that had this kind of issue: too much stress, too much going on, don't want to have sex. But you have to talk about it. That's the first thing I would advise. You really have to talk about it. Did you talk about it, Patrick?
For me, I obviously feel and experience that there is less sex in our life as usual, but I think it's very hard to describe or to define a word usual, because what is normal amount, what is less amount, what is more, and I know that for guys, sex is more often differently than for ladies, because for us there's not that much on our minds that need to be activated, kind of. We just see something physical attractive or psychological attractive, we get hard and we're good to go. And for ladies, it is there's more about it, right?
In general.
Yeah. And so I have absolutely no problem with having less sex, since we talk about it. There's absolutely no problem to have whatever days, weeks, month, years without sex.
No.
And I am absolutely not unsatisfied with this situation.
But we talk about that's what Philip asked, and we did talk about it. It was not easy in the very first time, like the other day, because I was really in a conflict with myself. Like, it's on me, it's on him. Like, it was nothing wrong with him. It was just my stress. But then I just went and said, "Look, I'm going through this, and I cannot really focus on sex on sex right now." But it was okay. It was okay to talk about it, and then we had sex. That was good. But
It was kind of liberating for you, as I see.
yeah, probably. But something I would like to ask is, so for you guys, if the lady doesn't approach you in a sexual way, did you, when it comes to a relationship, of course, did you really feel like trapped in that situation? Like, if she doesn't want, I will not proactively go because, or what do you think it's that point?
I think that for me, it is kind of a tricky situation because, I mean, we talk about it that you didn't want it. And so for me, it means like, or it kind of is unspoken that the next time that sex is possibly going to happen, it needs to come from your side.
Okay.
Because
the ball is in my rooftop.
Yeah, in that terms too, because I think that whenever, I mean, you tell me that you don't feel like it for whatever reason, doesn't matter. But then I have problems to approach because I know that you don't want it. So I rather keep it cool and wait for your action to go to the second base again. And I don't know, Philip, have you had any similar situation?
Yeah, of course. Initially, when I talk about it, most of the time in my past relationships, I didn't even talk about it because I thought myself guilty for like making too much pressure. And if you talk about it, you do more pressure and stuff like that. It was pretty immature, but yeah, initially I was uh, feeling rejected. If I approach my girlfriend and she declined the act of sex or the sexual attention and I felt rejected and I got a bit angry. But on second thought, but only on second thought, not initially, I had to reflect about maybe she has her reasons, maybe there is a reason, maybe girls just think different. So it's a little bit of work to not get offended by this. You know what I mean? I cannot lie that I got offended very often because I felt rejected, and then I thought, like, Patrick, next time you have to come because I won't. I'm the stronger one now, and you will. If you want to have sex, come to me, and I wait all day till you come. Even if I masturbate like twice a day, I don't care. That's what I wanted to ask Patrick. Did you didn't feel any anger in the last 2 weeks? Did you feel like a little bit of damn shit, I cannot have sex? Even you talked about it, that's very good, but did you feel the rejection?
No. I didn't feel any rejection or any negative feeling with it. I just learned over the last years that it's all about ups and downs and more attraction and sometimes less attraction in sexual life. So I absolutely went or go with the flow, and I know that there will be better times. So I don't. I'm not mad about anything at all.
Oh yeah, it's like delayed gratification. This is a very mature behavior, man. You're a ripe fruit. You're very good because that's not, let's hands on the table. It's not the usual experience people have out there because normally the talking is not as intense and they are not, they're not sharing their feelings. That's like, especially on the men's side, because men are not used to share their feelings so much with women. So yeah, that's one thing we want to advise everybody out there, and try to talk about that stuff, even if you are afraid, even if you tend to look weak in front of your girlfriend. You don't have to be strong in front of your girlfriend. It's the opposite. If you show yourself weak, then you are actually stronger. So I think we have to talk way more about sexuality and problems related to that, and to our needs and to our expectations. And this is kind of the way of this show. And you are a very good example, you two, because I believe you, Patrick. I believe you that you didn't feel any anger in the last 2 weeks. You just convinced
No, he
me
didn't.
that this is great. I personally never really had this close kinds of conversations about sex with my girlfriends, ex-girlfriends, and it led to many problems, many problems. And the next one, I really, really want to work on that, and I have to work on that because there's no fun otherwise.
I think that the angry part, if there was an angry part, was more me than him, because of the responsibility, or like I create myself a responsibility of satisfying him in that terms, because I knew in this case it was just him wanting to have sex. So I was like feeling the that I was failing him, like fuck, I cannot help. But yeah, that was the way it was, and we really talk about it, and it's good. And now my question is for you both: how much is it sex is super important for everybody, because otherwise we wouldn't have been here. But how much is important, or how much sex has to be the protagonist, or the attention in the relationship, or like, yeah, how much protagonism has to have the sex in a relationship for you guys?
Whew, that's a difficult question. It depends a bit on what values I just build my relationship. It depends on the nature of the relationship, because sometimes I like meet a girl sharing the same hobby with me, so there's a totally different base fundament to be, yeah, to love each other in different ways. I think if you how you say, over pronounce the sex in a relationship, there is maybe a lacking of other areas where you have a good harmony, with each other, where you can discuss things, where you can talk about things, where you can just be philosophical about stuff like that. If you have this base, I think sex is less important. It is still important, and it's good to have healthy sex, and like sex with suits your both needs, maybe every day once, maybe 3 times a week. I don't know, that's very individual. But I think if you have too much want too much sex, and sex is the only thing you have to focus on to have some feeling of love and harmony and closeness, then there's maybe a lack of another thing, which is not bad. But maybe long-term relationships should start building mutual basis. That's my fair share, my experience.
Yeah, I cannot share the same. What about you?
I think it absolutely depends, or varies, depending on the what Philip said and what you said, the the trustness and the love and the relationship as a total. Because when you love your partner, I mean, when you spend time together, when you live together, um, you spend your whole life together, right? And so you're not coming back from work and then you think like, I'm not going to see that person for the next 3 weeks. I have to have like sex 3 hours for the next evening. So there are so many more beautiful things to share with than just concentrating on only the sexual relationship. And I mean, we're together for a couple of years. We are married, and my point of view in that term has definitely changed, because whenever you hook up with someone, or you date someone, then yeah, sex might be the same importance, but might be more on the menu than in a long-term relationship. At least that's what my experience was and is. And so I think it is perfectly okay to have less or to have more. That is also absolutely individual.
See.
But of course, in the beginning, when you start to be with somebody, at least for me, what it motivates me a lot is the sexual attraction. So at least for me, I mean, of course, the mind and everything as well, but this primitive animal sexual attraction is really important for me in the very first moments, I would say. But yeah, I totally agree with Philip that you really have more things to enjoy and to establish a base for your relationship. So yeah.
And there's so much more that is like absolutely important about relationships and sex. But guys, look at the time. There are so many questions and not enough answers. We just have experience. We just open the discussion for you. Think about that stuff, interact with us. Just write it in the comments or just write it anonymously on our website, Patrick, which is
hbiyd.com, which is short for how big is your dick.
Yeah, and this is maybe a question for the next episode. I don't know if you have some ideas for questions, or if you have questions at all, just put it down in the comments. We can discuss it in the next episode. Guys, I look up to you because you are like the perfect couple for me. I really love that conversation. It was yeah, I really loved it. And yeah, thank you for this intimacy. Thank you for that.
Thank you. See you for the next episode.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.